What's up, YouTube? It's Joe Catrapalia sitting on the couch making some money investing in fractional real estate online as usual. Today is Friday, so it's time for this week's installment of the 52-week challenge. This is where I tell you about all the fractional real estate that I bought this week and invite you to do the same. You can jump in the comments. You can tell us in the Discord. There's a thread specifically for this, or you can just DM with me. That seems to be the most popular choice, but I am just trying to create a discussion in a virtual accountability group for all of us to make sure that we're not just getting stuck in analysis paralysis. We're actually not just looking at lots of different fractional real estate, but pulling the trigger and buying some every single week. And that's been my goal since I got into fractional real estate for quite a while ago now. And, sometimes I find that I need this extra little push. I need to be thinking about, I need to do my video, so let me make sure that I bought something. That's the case on most of the platforms, but I actually just have my auto investor going on ground floor. So if nothing else, I always pick up at least some LROs. I got pieces of 4 new LROs, but I had a whole bunch of payoffs. So I actually have, I think I had 12 payoffs and 4 new ones. I think when I recorded this video last week, I had 120 total loans. I'm down to 112. This is just, I'm looking for the maximum diversification possible on this platform. And it seems like somewhere in the 120s is the highest I can get to before I just start having some payoffs, at least for now. So maybe that is the ceiling. I'm not really sure, but I'm just letting it go. If you watched the video I did earlier this week, if you didn't see it, it's in the ground floor playlist on my channel. But I dug into a little bit more about all the default or the extended loans that I have that have been extended a very long time. I still don't have a single loan in default, or that was moved to default. Although I think in my mind, some of these 16 should be listed as those. But so far so good. I'm continuing to make money on here and haven't had one that I've lost yet. Although all of these have been outstanding for since 2024. So I would guess at some point some of these are going to turn into a loss or some sort of short payoff. Anyway, that's everything I bought on ground floor. Other than that, I just bought stuff on Lofty. I didn't buy anything on Mogul, nothing on Arc7, Arrive, none of the other platforms, but a few different things on Lofty. So let me jump into these. If you've been watching for a while, I've been buying 9 Country Club Lane for quite some time. Every time recently, I've been trying to target it under this $20 market price. It's a short-term rental in Briarcliff, New York. I think there's a whole lot of reasons to be optimistic about it doing well in the future. It hasn't done well so far, right? The cash flow hasn't been great, but there's been a lot of work done by both Earl and Noah. It's supposed to be featured on a show, I think, called Staycation. I think once that happens, we might see a little bit of a pop in the business that we're doing. And also, hopefully, that results in higher token prices. But this is one that I think is what I'm really trying to do more and more on Lofty lately is get, where I think there's some sort of asymmetry in the risk versus our reward, right? I think that there's very little downside in this particular property at $20. Before I forget, please like and subscribe. In the description of this video, I have links to all the places where I'm currently investing in fractional real estate online. Please do your own due diligence on those platforms and on the properties themselves. Just because I say, I think that this is low risk relative to the return. That's my personal opinion. That's not telling you that this is a good investment for you. You really want to dig into these deals yourself. I've certainly, I put out a video last week about some money I lost on Lofty. I'm certainly not making money on every single deal. The more that we can dig into deals and share the risks together, right? Talk to each other about it. Like that's the goal is to have a community that's all looking out for each other. We're digging into deals together. We're maybe pressuring platforms to do better together, which in the place where we're doing that is in the Discord, so there's a link to that in the description of this video as well. So please feel free to join that. It's not a sales funnel. It doesn't cost anything. If you do get DM'd by somebody who looks like me after joining and they're trying to sell you anything, that is not me. Please don't fall for that. Okay, so back to this. Yeah. And just, what appears to be, to me, a very solid property in a great area. I expect it to do well long term. A lot of good stuff going on in the business plan, but all those things, but I really just need there to also be a big discount, and currently we have one. Why there's such a deep discount is really hard to understand. It appears that the co-owner, Noah, who brought this to the platform, it just really needs the capital and has been selling at a very deep discount. And so, I know that's worried some people, and I think that that's legitimate, right? Because we do look to Noah to make the mortgage payments on this particular deal. Or wait a minute, do we make the mortgage payments on this deal? No, I think that we make them, and he's just there to backstop them if we don't. Oh man, I forget. I'm gonna have to go back and look. If anybody knows, feel free to put the answer in the comments or in the Discord, because I should know that, and at the moment I'm just drawing a blank. Okay, but that's what I bought that. I also bought more of this property on Colfax Ave in Chicago. If anybody's been paying attention to this one, it appears to be just an absolute, discounted, and the price has been moving up. The market price is now $25. It's been moving up pretty steadily recently. I think it makes sense. This Dow is just holding a ton of cash. Yeah, $222,000 operating reserve. We're selling one of the two properties, and we're trying to hold the cash right now because we're have an agreement where the buyer is paying to fix the property, and we have some sort of it's a somewhat complex agreement, so you'd have to dig into it if you're interested in this one. But this, to me, it's a these properties have not been operating well. They've been losing money, or at least just not making money. I mean, this shows a tremendous negative net operating income, but I believe there's just a very large, amount of equity to pick up. I mean, if you take the cash value out, which I think is somewhere around $14 per token, we're still at only like $11, per token for the remaining property that's in there. The two properties, and then one of those is going to be sold. We should make some money off of that. So it just seems like it's a tremendously undervalued. Now, obviously, that's something that you want to verify for yourself. And then the last thing that I bought on here, and this might surprise some people because I haven't bought this one in a little bit, is some tokens in Umland Circle in Jenner, California. This is another short-term rental. It has not been performing well at all. There's some question as to whether or not the co-owner, Craig Clark, has been making the mortgage payments. They have had pretty consistently been being made slowly. There was a huge water bill that wasn't paid, and so for a little while the water was shut off. This is just one where, the token price, it's, right now, my average purchase is below this current market price. But when we had a pretty good dip this past week, I picked up a couple of tokens. Again, it's just that I believe that at the price that I'm buying these tokens at, it's going to be hard to lose money. And if a number of things have to go well in the long run to actually make money, but I think the upside is significantly larger than my downside risk. So I believe that there's the potential in the future for this property to sell at a price where I'm getting 3 or 4 times my equity, and it will be worth it to have taken some risk, right? Because I'm potentially losing 1 to maybe get 2 or 3. I just think that's sort of a good trade-off if I believe that the value is really here. And this is one where it looks to me, the Zestimate and some of the other websites think this property is worth less than this. This value comes from an appraisal that was done because it's a very unique property. It's on, it has ocean views. It's in a small town. This is a scenario where I just trust a human appraiser more than the sort of automated systems that are Zillow and Redfin and those sorts of things. I think that there's just too many things to take into account and that you need to adjust for that a lot of those models just don't seem to get. And so, even if it's never sold for 1.3 million, if it's 1.2, if it's 1.25, I would be perfectly happy. It would have to sell for somewhere around, I think, 1.1 for me to break even, and then worse than that, I would start to lose money. But I don't imagine that happening. It might be one that I have to sit on a while to actually realize those returns, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't bought a whole bunch of this when the price has dipped. The last time we voted to sell this, the co-owner who owns the majority of this voted against that, and so it could be a very long time before we actually get to access that equity. But that's the last property that I bought this week. What did you buy? Did you pick up any of these? Are you getting something different? Did you buy any of the Mogul property that launched tonight or last night? It's Friday morning now. I haven't done a video on that. That's coming up, and then I'm going to do my portfolio video for Mogul as well pretty soon too. So if you have any anyway, if you bought any of those, or I'm just curious what you're buying, what's your strategy, and that's it. Until next time, I'm going to just keep making mistakes so that you don't have to.